Hi everybody, my name's Jenny and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is an absolutely glorious day in July, which makes this video, I guess, a little odd since I'm going to be talking about autumn planting. If you've watched any of my earlier videos, you know that I've only had this allotment for, I don't know, maybe about 4 weeks. So I've been thinking about how can I set it up and plant it now so that I've actually got some crops coming like within the next sort of 3 to 6 months. So I've decided that the best way to do that would be to actually just intentionally plant an autumn allotment, at least for the minute anyway. So I've done a little bit of planning. I've just sort of had a bit of a think about what I might like to grow. And before I did any of that, I think the very first thing that I did, and you should do if you want to plant an autumn allotment, is to find out when your next frost date is. So for me, our frost date is the middle of October. So I've got about 13 weeks until the first frost of the autumn. So I then had a look at the vegetables I like to grow and figured out what could I grow, you know, that takes less than that 13-week period. So I've kind of gone for vegetables that are around the 10 to 11 week mark to try and make sure that I can get a crop in the next 3 months. I have also got a couple of risk options that I'm going to go with as well. So I'm going to take you out to where we've just got our first 2 beds, and we'll just have a bit of a chat about what we're going to do next. Okay, let's go. Since we're here in the greenhouse, I thought it would be helpful to just give you a quick look at what we are growing. So there are loads of cucumbers here. There's one ready to pick there, and actually another one, if you just sneak in, you should be able to see behind here another one there. They are growing really well, so I will get those later. And then over here we have quite a lot of tomatoes. Here we go. So yeah, loads and loads of tomatoes on all of these. I am going to do a little bit of side shoot tidying today and just get some of those a little bit tidied up. They've got a little bit crazy, and I'll come back later today to water. It's actually really hot here at the minute. I've got the door open, but it's probably still a little bit too warm, but I will water this evening when it's a little bit cooler. And still more cucumbers over here. These ones, they are a different variety, but I don't know what they are. And we haven't got any fruit on them as yet, although we do have a few that have been pollinated. So hopefully pretty soon we will have some fruit on these too. So the very first thing that I'm actually going to do is to put together a bed of beans, and I'm growing 2 particular types. The first one is Czar, which is like it's a white like butter bean, I guess, really, and the second one is going to be some Bellotto dwarf French beans as well. But I'm growing both of those for drying, so I'm really hoping that July, August and the first half of September remain pretty dry, so that I can leave them on their vines. I can just leave them in the ground and let them dry. It's one of those things though, right? I live in the northwest of England, so rain is most definitely a regular part of our lives. So I expect that what might happen is I'm probably going to have to pull them, pop them in the garage to let them finish drying off. But the idea is that at the end of the season, I would definitely have some beans for drying that I can keep in the house to keep us going over winter. My risk crop is actually some cheeky curry squash, which I'm on the windowsill, in fact, in my house, and I didn't have enough space for them before at the little allotment, so they've probably been inside a bit longer than I would hope. And I also did not start them particularly early. I started them in June, not in May, so I'm not sure that we'll get any fruit off them. I think I've got 3 actually, so, or maybe 4, I'm not sure. But I will pop those out as well, probably in the same bed as the beans, but I will pop some trellising up to help them grow upwards so that I can save a little bit on space as they do love to sprawl across the ground. So that's going to be the first bed that I do. It is such a lovely day here today. It's one of those days where like there's this gorgeous breeze blowing through, the sun is out, and there's like this low level humming of hummingbirds and bees. There's a couple of butterflies. It's just really just such a gorgeous day to be in the garden. So yes, despite the beautiful weather and the sort of middle of summer, my autumn plantings, I'm going to do 3 other beds as well as that. The first one is going to be a roots bed. Like, forgive me if I keep looking down, it's just because I've got notes. And so I'm going to be planting some carrots, some turnips, some fennel and some red beetroot, Detroit, and also a golden beetroot, which I've not grown before, but I'm quite looking forward to that. The beetroot I'm particularly happy about because I do really like making beetroot chutneys to go with cheese and crackers. They're particularly good at Christmas, and Christmas is coming up soon enough. I know it's July, but I like to plan ahead. So I wanted to make sure that I had some beetroot available to make some chutney, which will go with some cheese, ready for those sort of really cold wintry days when you're sat inside just like munching food and watching TV, enjoying the rest of the season. So I definitely want to do that one. And then I'm going to do a leafy greens bed as well, which is predominantly going to be made up of some kales really, so some green curly kale and some Nero di Toscana kale. Now that kale I think I must have sowed that in May. So it's been growing on in the house quite happily, but I'm going to pop it out in some beds. I've probably got more than I need because I reckon I've probably got about 10 plants. Even with a family of 5, we are not going to eat that much kale, so I will give some of it away to some of the people on the plot, and probably just make some kale chips, add some to soups and stews as a side dish. There's loads of stuff you can do with kale, it's fabulous. So yes, definitely growing some kales. I'm gonna try not to take up the entirety of the bed with just kale. Yeah, so because we do love leafy greens so much, I'm going to put in some perpetual spinach. I've been growing that like all year anyway. It's fabulous and it's prolific, so totally love that, as well as some rainbow chard and some salad onions. Obviously the big onions are about to come out. Probably should have taken them out already, to be honest, which I haven't done, but yes, I will do in the next week or so. But actually all the onions growing on this plot are white onions, which unfortunately do not sit that well with me. I can't even cut them, like my eyes just stream, it burns for hours afterwards. So actually I normally only grow red onions or salad onions because they are milder and don't burn my eyes, so we'll go with that, I think. So the last vegetable bed that I'm going to put together is probably the one that I am most excited about, and that is because it is a winter salad bed. So effectively what I'm going to do is to put some hoops over one of the beds. I'm going to create a cloche with some fleece, and I'm going to try and keep some salads actually going over the whole of the winter season. Now here it doesn't get that cold. I mean, it barely drops below like -5 most of the time. That's not really the problem. The problem tends to be the wind. I live relatively close to the sea. The wind off the sea is it's incredible at times, and that tends to be the thing that really harms the plants that I try to grow over winter months. They just get completely battered. So we're going to have a go this year at trying to grow some things over the winter period, and hopefully actually being able to have a relatively regular but small source of greens throughout the season. So I'm going to be growing some winter purslane, some green frills, mustard, some land cress, and some corn salad as well. They should all do fine, other than the green frills actually. The rest of them are quite small plants, so I'm hoping that I can keep them pretty well protected underneath a cloche, and hopefully I will be able to have greens all winter long. So for me that means I actually need to plant 2 more beds up, so I'm going to be doing that over the next couple of weeks, and hopefully I'll be able to show you the progress. That is all from me today. I hope that you guys are having a wonderful day wherever you are. Thank you so much for watching, and if you did like the video, please do give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on any videos, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.